One
Good morning.
morning. Welcome to the November 7th meeting of the November 7th meeting of the Board of Regents Committee on Academic and Student Affairs. I would like to ask the secretary to call the roll, please.
Thank you. Regent Bloom,
Present.
Regent James,
Present.
Regent Porras, his absence is noted, and Regent Cummings.
Present.
And we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We have a quorum. We'll move forward then with the agenda. The first item is the approval of the minutes of the meeting of October 3rd. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
Any comments on the minutes? Corrections? Principal in a Family Magazine? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Minutes are approved. First item of business is the Central Connecticut State University. We have an academic update. Is Dr. Costello here?
Yes, I saw her.
Welcome. I'd like to ask each of the provosts, when they present their academic update, to report on what AI initiatives may be taking place on the campus. So we have a general idea of what is happening in this field across the system, and as part of the academic report today. And then Provost Costello, welcome, you're on.
You're on mute.
Yeah, mute.
No, we still can't hear you, Provost Costello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We're switching back from Teams and Zoom and WebEx, I think. Sorry about that. So Central has been focused on AI initiatives for a number of years now. And just want to mention again regarding our AI initiatives have been anchored in our AI corridor that we built and did a ribbon cutting last fall. This coupled with our existing XR lab that has the augmented and virtual mixed reality, as well as our cybersecurity hall and our Proscenium HighFlex 2.0 classroom, all combines to allow for applied learning, as well as having students be able to use those spaces for their capstone experiences, classes, and be able to present and in industries coming in and being able to utilize that space as well. We've been expanding our curriculum to embed AI. Last year we had launched a minor in the application of AI. Also last year, you might remember, we added the AI component to our computer science, a master's in AI, and a lot of accelerated pathways to that as well. We are piloting some online modules that will be not for credit right now in the spring, and if all goes well and we get good feedback, it's something that we want to expand out to allow for all of our graduates to be exposed to, and then work towards how can we embed it within the curriculum, because we're hearing feedback from the President's Advisory Board that they want their employers to be ready for the integration of AI. So we've been piloting that. We will be piloting the modules in the spring. They're in development now, and some of our students are also helping with those with the development of that as well. This fall, we had our second annual fall conference. Last year it was AI themed. All of the presenters were AI focused. This year we also had an integrated AI component. We had poster sessions that presented on AI and student capstone experiences that, as I mentioned before, are continuing and doing more with bringing the industry in so that we make sure that we're aligned and focused there as well. We have been also there, the president has an advisory board on AI that we've had in place for over 2 years now. And we just met this week actually and took feedback from the conference and planning to move forward with a cohort-based professional development for staff at Central, as well as then how can we integrate AI and pedagogy and create some fellows, so a cohort, so that we can build some momentum in that area as well. On the research side, with that AI corridor, we have space that is can do large scale data, but also is protected and is in a secure server. We also have virtual workstations that extend into our library that is cloud-based. Also, we have other IRB sensitive data servers, as well as partnerships that require different NIST guardrails. And we're also trying to build talent pipelines for incumbent workers and upscaling as well, just to make sure that we're all talking and on the same page with AI.
Thank you. That was very informative. Any other, you want to comment on any other aspect of what's happening at Central other than the AI?
I mean, we're in the midst of the semester and already preparing for winter commencement, which is always an exciting time of the year. We're already, doing in the midst of registration for the spring, so we're looking ahead. One thing though I will mention is that we were accepted to be part of a cohort through the ASCU that focus on student centered academic scheduling. So we're excited to be part of a cohort that is going to be looking at our academic course scheduling with an eye on student success. We've been part of their student success equity initiative for over 3 years now. And we're actually going down to Nashville on the 17th of November to continue that work. And this has been a nice extension to be able to start working on the course scheduling. So we're excited about that.
Thank you. That's very informative. I hope you make it to Nashville, given this current state of the airline.
I know.
Anyway,
Fingers
maybe
crossed.
this will all be done by the 17th.
Yeah.
We have your program modification, reading and language arts. Can I have a motion to put that on the table?
I'll move it.
Second,
Second.
would you like to tell us about that, please?
Sure. So it looks like it might be a larger change than it really is. Previously, we had courses embedded in the advanced certificate program that made sure that they could achieve their certification, their 102 certification. But now that is embedded as a prereq to the program. So those courses that were required are now removed. This also allows for easier students coming from other institutions that may want to pursue the advanced certificate, the 097. Having the 102 as the prereq for the program just makes it much easier for recruitment, as well as advising and just understanding the advanced certificate overall.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the regents?
Yeah, if I could, the
Please.
enrollments for that special certification, looks pretty low right now. Did it ever have higher numbers when you first started it, or has it always been low?
It's fluctuated for sure. Sometimes there's larger numbers because a lot of times the times that we've had larger numbers is when we have done more cohort-based approaches for this certificate. And so that's where we're also, we had a change in some of our retirements and some new folks coming in from K to 12 that is building that back up, and we're looking for cohort based again to increase that. So it's fluctuated, but the times that you see it higher is when we had cohorted based programs for that certificate program.
Okay. I want to thank Central for offering that program. My wife got both her degrees from the reading program at Central and holds the 097 and 102 certification. So your efforts in that area benefited us personally. Thanks.
And it's also a great program that serves the community too, because they do the reading intervention free as it's part of the program. They bring in students from the community to help with the reading intervention as well. So it's all around. They've been doing great work for a number of years.
Great, thank you.
I take it that the modifications are intended to make it more competitive with other programs, and
Yes.
at this point, so that may help your enrollment.
Yes. Less confusing.
That's always a good thing. Any other comments or questions about the program? Yeah. Ready for a vote? All those in favor of approving the modification as presented?
Aye.
Right. Opposed? Abstentions? Modification is approved. The below threshold items do not require a vote, but would be helpful, I think, if you could summarize some of the teaching related program changes, so the board has a sense of what is happening.
Sure. So just continuing with looking at the reading and language arts, they did some cleanup with some of their 6-year program, reducing the number of credits from 36 to 33 to be more marketable, as well as having some different strands and options in there as well. They did add a dyslexia and literacy certificate program, which is allowing it to be standalone as well as embedded into their master's degree or their 6-year certificate. Some other changes that are trying to help address the teacher shortage is that we had sort of paused our Masters of Arts in Teaching so that we could look at the curriculum. So they have adjusted the program by reducing the number of credits there so that we can align to be more timely degree completion. We worked with the State Department of Education on some of those suggested changes as well. And the last one is another one of our accelerated central programs that is from our undergraduate biology degree into our master's degree in biology as well, so that students can have that accelerated pathway should they want to continue to get their master's degree at Central. They can do it in the 5 years, the 3+2 essentially. It's also not only faster, but then also maximizes their undergraduate tuition for those 4 years. So then they only have to pay the graduate tuition for that last year as well. So those have been helpful pathways that we've been providing to the students.
You've had a number of them that have come before the committee previously, and I suspect more may be coming.
Yes.
Any comments or questions of Central?
No.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Hi. Do you have enrollment numbers for the 4 strands? Is there a trend line, or how many people are in the 4 strands in the master's program? Is there one that's the favorite, or are they increasing or decreasing? How are they?
I don't have them broken out, but they have, it kind of ebbs and flows because there's different, areas of interest in those. But overall, we've been responsive to the feedback of our industry, or, our K to 12 partners in providing those options for the students, as opposed to creating a different certificate or a different master's degree, providing more flexibility within that one program.
What's your sense in terms of, the enrollments statewide seem to be slowly decreasing in the K through 12 world. In the reading specialty area, is that, some subject areas seem to be in more demand than others? How does the reading program rank? Is it one of the more in demand ones or less in demand ones? Do you have a feel for how it stacks up?
I don't, that is something that we just recently hired a reading specialist as on our tenure track that came directly from K to 12. And she's been doing a lot of work with teachers in that area. So I can't say for certain. I can look into that and follow back up. I can work with her and circle back, but I don't want to misspeak. But
Okay, surely.
Okay, Dr. Costello, thank you very much. This has been a very helpful and informative session with you, so thank you.
Thank you.
Next trip is out to the more eastern parts of the state. Connecticut State, Dr. Heineck, are you here?
I am. Good morning,
Yes.
Regent Bloom.
Welcome, Dr. Heineck.
Thank you. I can give you an overview if that's what you'd like on AI and what CT State is doing. We are currently offering an AI certificate through our non-credit program. It's an online opportunity for interested students. It's a 40-hour program, which includes 3 courses, one in the Introduction to Generative AI, one in AI Society and Ethical and Social Implications, and one course in Generative AI for business and creative professionals. It's offered at 10 of our 12 campuses, and we are seeing growing enrollment there. So we're excited about that. As you know, we historically have offered a 2-year degree under our technical studies program in artificial intelligence at Capital and at Northwestern. In order to help prepare the faculty and staff for AI in the years ahead, we have invested beginning last year in an AI fellowship where 35 faculty and staff are selected, and they apply and they're nominated to participate in a semester-long training with strategies by design. We are increasing that this year to having a second round. Another 35 faculty and staff will be trained for the AI fellowship, and that's through active projects in addition. And then we are adding the Master Trainers program this year for another eligible 20. So we're excited about that. That's people who were trained initially and then getting a secondary opportunity to be trained as Master Trainers. And right now, that's the work that we're doing in AI. I can
In other
continue.
areas, Dr. Heineck, do you want to make
Yeah,
any
there's
other
a couple
comments?
other updates that I'd like the Regents to be aware of. First, we're very excited that Bowen just recently passed our request to replicate practical nursing, and practical nursing will be replicated at our CT State Norwalk campus beginning this spring for another cohort of 24 students taking that program in the evening and weekend. So we're very excited about that piece. I want to also let the Regents know that last week on Halloween, we hosted an ACME Summit in person with faculty from English and Math, which was a wonderful opportunity to garner their feedback, look at our data again, and really try to identify some areas that we need to be mindful of. Coming out of the math group, we recognize that there's still work for us to do in aligning math pathways and being even more prescriptive by major in which math needs to be taken for best opportunities with transfer. So we'll be beginning that work this year. In addition, we need to make sure that we are offering enough 1000 level math courses to meet the student needs. So that's an aspect that came out of that summit. In addition to that, we are running a workforce summit on November 19th, and we will be working with our campus directors of workforce development, our academic deans, as well as our campus presidents and the Office of Finance, just to make sure that we are getting prepared for short-term Pell. As you know, short-term Pell is up and coming in July of 2027. There's a lot of work for us to do to ensure that we are looking through the inventory of the 147 different programs that we currently offer to determine which specific programs are eligible for short-term Pell under the criteria that we currently know. And it will require us to do more in credit for prior learning. As a result of that, because one of the requirements of short-term Pell is that programs that are selected to be eligible, they have to stack into a credit-based program. So as you know, as a new institution, we are working on a new shared governance process as well. That was a year-long process after a summit last year on what was working and what wasn't. We are implementing our new college discipline groups beginning this month, and we're very excited about that piece. And part of that charge also includes them reviewing credit for prior learning by content area. So we will start mapping that in earnest. In addition to that, we have heard back from NECHI. I'm not sure if we had talked about this last month or not, but we did have a team report last year in April. We met with the commission, and fortunately, we do not need to write another team report before our 2027 first comprehensive self-study. So we'll be beginning that work in earnest starting in January. And as you know, there are new NECHI standards. I'd also like to say that we have a new dean, which we're very excited about. Dr. Sal Bonduck has joined us as our new Dean of Nursing, Allied Health and Human Services. And I think that's going to cover my updates.
Any questions or comments for Dr. Heineck?
Yeah, one quick question, or Juanita,
Sure.
do you have?
No, I was just going to thank Dr. Heineck and welcome Dean Dean Bonduck. So,
Yeah, I had a quick, and maybe this is for everyone. You had mentioned that there was a non-credit certification program that you had just started. Does anybody know if there's any industry certifications that can be earned, or is it too early? Has the industry developed things that we can target education towards, or is there nothing out there to go after?
I think on the non-credit side, it's still evolving with industry recognized credentials in AI, but it is definitely something that we are paying close attention to and making sure that we're as responsive as we can be.
Any other questions of Dr. Heineck? Thank you very much. Again, another very helpful and informative report. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Southern, Dr. Irwin, you have some interesting items on the agenda here.
Good morning. I'll start
Good
with
morning.
updates. I wanted to just give a shout out to some exciting stuff we have going on at Southern. Our Communication and Media Studies department has won the Rex Mix Program of Excellence Award, which is from the National Communication Association for excellence in curriculum. Our anthropologists, you'll remember them from from some recent curriculum, have an article recently accepted in Nature Communications, which is very prestigious. So we're proud of that. In terms of AI, I think you're going to be sorry you asked because I have a very long list. So I'll try to keep it short. We have a number of internal grants that were given from our faculty development. So the first is a series on generative AI, crossing faculty developers in English, philosophy, and curriculum and learning. This will go on throughout 2026. The topics are overview of Gen AI and current climate, impact of Gen AI on society and incorporating it ethically, Gen AI pedagogy and learning, and Gen AI and scholarship and research. We have another group that includes special education, recreation, tourism, and sports management, and special education that has a series on advancing faculty development in AI integration for pedagogy and research. And they are calling themselves the AI Affinity Group, and this is 2.0. We just got some questions about non-credit. And so we have our Office of Workforce and Lifelong Learning has a series of AI non-credit offerings that can be taken for individuals outside the university, but also within. I'm just going to give you a quick list. AI, I understand, love, hate, and fear it, and so should you. AI and Machine Learning Suite, AI Developer Bootcamp, AI for HR professionals, AI for marketing professionals, AI fundamentals for workplace success, AI in K-12 education. So we've actually been recruiting and educating K-12 professionals in AI in specific, and foundations of generative AI in business. Regent Cummings just asked about industry kind of accepted non-credit standards in AI, and I'm not sure this will actually kind of meet exactly what he had in mind, but we do have a free training for students and alumni that's part of Grow with Google, and it's called AI Essentials. So given that it's targeted with Google, from Google, that may be more kind of industry standard if that's what you had in mind. Student Affairs has also gotten on the bandwagon, and we have a Student Affairs organized student-focused training opportunity that is entitled ChatGPT and AI Usage in Your Career Search. We also have AAUP faculty grants awarded to 3 individuals about AI-based projects using AI to illuminate transformative aesthetic experiences in psychology, computer science, AI-powered fusion models for improving the performance of age group detection, and in business, finance and real estate, household investors in the age of AI. In addition, we have 4 new credit-based courses where AI is the topic. Computer Science 462, Generative AI for Images and Videos, Philosophy 333, Ethics of AI, that one is very popular. Our minor in critical disability studies has a course entitled Disability Technology and AI, and Marketing 398 is Intro to AI Marketing. I want to lastly announce an event that we have coming on Friday, November 14th, and that is the Emerging Technologies Forum open to all at 101 College Street in New Haven. And this event is free, open to the public, and it's designed to bring leaders from education, industry, faculty, school teachers, students, and community stakeholders. And this is on quantum, AI, and life sciences. So if anybody's interested in that, oh, actually, thank you, Mr. Peter Demoulas just put the link. Thank you in the chat. If you're interested in coming, please join us.
Thank you. That was very, very interesting. And as you said, a long list, which is impressive. So, we have another very interesting item from you, the Center and Institute name change for the Center for Quantum and Nanotechnology. I found that was a fascinating presentation. So please talk about it. First, may I have a motion for continuation of this center as listed in the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, you're back on.
Thank you. I'm just going to do a very brief kind of an overview, and I do have the experts here. Dr. Matthew Engelron is here to talk specifically about the we hope to be newly named center, and then I also have Dr. Isabel Logan when we talk about the establishment of a new center request. So, just in general, items 1 and 2, the Center for Nanotechnology has been just an absolute wonderful thing that we're very proud of here, and has just done incredible top shelf work. As we are part of much of what is going on in the state with quantum and quantum CT with the individuals involved in the Center for Nanotechnology. The idea here is to just recognize the work that we're already doing by creating the center to represent that. So the change would be Center for Quantum and Nanotechnology. With respect to the second item, the Center for Excellence in Math and Science, I think for efficiency and just for kind of leveraging of resources, it's not that that work will stop being done, but that it actually, I think you could see in the application, some of that important work will be wrapped into the Center for what was Nanotechnology. So it SEMS had a large grant associated with it. The work still goes on, but I think it makes most sense for much of the work to kind of come together under one umbrella. We can only do so much at one time. So I think putting it together makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and ask Dr. Engelrun to answer any questions that you might have about the Center for Nanotechnology and the requested name change.
Good morning, everyone. So I'll do my best, like Provost Irwin said, to answer your questions. And I'm filling in for my colleague, Christine Broadbridge, who could not be here this morning with us, who is really the anchor and the driver of all of this that you see in the report. So,
would you, when you're in your discussion, two of the three of the things that was striking about your materials, one is the role that students are playing in this overall activity. And the second, if you would discuss the interrelationship with the other campuses in the system with this center.
Okay, thank you for that question. So yes, this center, as you can see from the report, was first approved in 2013. The focus was a little bit narrower back then because we were building off of the expertise that we had and the resources that we had, and it's always been materials science and at the nano scale, nano being on a length scale, so small. And also because of the type of institution that Southern is, like we're all here, we focus on both the research side and the teaching and education side. So students have always been a major component of all the work that gets done in the center, and from the very beginning of the center to all of our future proposals. And so the center is the main hub is at Southern, but it always incorporated the CSU system. So we have pieces of equipment, we have collaborators, we have what we call the I don't know, one term could be secondary hubs at all the other three campuses, Western, Central, and Eastern. Everybody can use that equipment, okay? Students from all four campuses have been involved in our programs from the beginning up to now. And we also have now CT state students participating in our programs, as well as CT faculty are involved with some of those projects. So it is system-wide, and it's going to continue to grow. The provost mentioned quantum CT, so we are in the final stages of this big NSF engines proposal. A key component of that, of which Southern is very important, and Christine is a PI, or co-PI on this grant, is that we are going to try to incorporate quantum in a broad sense, not just quantum computing, that's what a lot of people think of, but quantum materials in particular, right, to both on multiple scales, research, education, workforce training, that will involve students across the system, right? And we've been talking to CT State about that. So the center has had a mission, so the mission statement sort of encapsulates all of that. It starts and it's expanded, and we've expanded to include, both micro and nanoscale and now quantum scale phenomena, because that's the way the field is going in science, engineering, and in the economics, right? So we're trying to incorporate all this. That's a long-winded explanation, but hopefully I covered the bases.
Yes. Sure. Before we continue, may I have a motion for the continuation and name change as defined in the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, comments, questions about the center for the name change?
Yeah, I had a quick question. In your write-up, it looked like you had offered a physics course related to the sensor that had a 7-year enrollment of about 218 people. And I guess I'm not sure if that was one course or a variety. And then there was a materials course that had a somewhat lower enrollment of 28. What made one course more popular than the other? And are you changing anything to try to get more enrollment?
Okay, so I'm not sure. I'd have to look through the report, but we have multiple courses that are tied to the mission, right, of materials for the center. One of them is at a 100 level for us, right? So intro level, and that is part of our general ed, or what we call the liberal education program here. And that runs every semester and usually usually fills, okay? And so you're talking, say round numbers, sort of 50 students a year that might
Now,
take this class.
does that fulfill like their science elective? In other words, is it a out of major course?
This actually, it's out of major, but it fits in with this one I'm talking about. It's Physics 120. It's a tech fluency course because we're introducing technological tools, basically different aspects of computer technology, but centered around nanotech. The materials class that you're talking about is actually a traditional engineering materials course. So that's for our majors. And
For
therefore,
physics majors or?
yes. So yeah, good question. We do teach engineering at Southern, even though we do not have a college of engineering. We have an engineering concentration in physics, and it offers several standard engineering courses supplemented with a lot of applied physics courses. And most of our students who graduate will go on to either grad programs in engineering fields or go work in industry as engineers. That's where the majority of them go. So the enrollments will be lower because it's for majors.
Gotcha. Okay. And how many people are in that focused physics degree, that engineering style degree? Is that do you have and again, what are the trend lines?
Okay, I don't have the numbers in front of me. I used to be chair and I had them all the time in front of me, but not anymore. So I'm happy about that. But it is typically our largest concentration. We have a handful. So we have a Bachelor of Science general track, traditional physics degree, the engineering track. We also have one through 7 through 12 education. And then we have a Bachelor of Arts. Okay. So the engineering track is the largest and general, and they're roughly the same. Very close.
You also have a lot of information about career outcomes here for the students in these involved with which I found very interesting also.
Are you referring to essentially where some of our graduates had gone?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. No, it's very impressive. Things that we've been talking about with AI, quantum computing. So there's a little company called ASML, which is, I think it's Dutch, but it's here in Connecticut. They're the ones that make the equipment that make all the NVIDIA chips, right? So they're crucial. And we have a handful of our graduates, both undergrads and some of our master's students, that have worked in projects in the center who now work with ASML, among many others. So no, we're very proud of where our students have gone. Yeah, thanks for recognizing that.
Regent James?
Yeah, no, I was just going to comment. I was in a meeting with Peter Denius yesterday or the day before, and he was commenting on the relationship and how proud they are of working with CSCU at ASML.
Excellent. Thank you. That's good to hear.
I had another quick question, if I could. And I'm so supportive of that program. About 5 years ago, I toured it. I think I might have met you back 5 years back when I toured it with Christine. So, any rate, you have a tabletop SEM, your Hitachi unit. In I when I was teaching at the community colleges, I was dying to get an instrument like that on campus, just because I thought it would be a great way to introduce students into the STEM field. In other words, some of the quantum stuff is pretty high end, and the person off the street may not get too excited about it right off the bat, where an SEM, maybe would be more attractive to that type of student. What is it heavily used? What do you see its use at a college, and would it make sense to try to bring other students from around the state to Southern, or would it make sense to set up a unit at another campus, maybe like a Central that has an engineering presence?
It's a really good question. I mean, I would really want to, obviously, I won't speak for the whole center. Christine has been, like I said, she's the linchpin in all of this, and she has great ideas on this point. But extending our reach across the whole system is definitely a goal of the center. The tabletop here is still used a little bit, but because of a big grant we got several years ago from the Department of Energy, we were able to get this very high-end scanning electron microscope that you can't move. It's just too big. And so
That's that field emission one? The field emission unit?
I don't think so, right? So I'd have to, we classify them as scanning versus tunneling. So
okay.
Transmission, we have two of them.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe, right? It's a big piece of equipment, right? And so it does a lot of valuable research and work and company analysis for companies. But certainly we're open to it. If you want to start a discussion, please reach out.
Well, do you think the logistics of that would be overwhelming or doable? In other words, either, those small SEMs aren't crazy pricey, but there is some support staff that's needed. Would it be easier to bring students to Southern, or would it be easier to set up another unit at another campus?
Well, it's probably right now easiest for them, I would guess, to come here because we have the support structure.
Right.
How much support would be needed to run a tabletop system at, say, like you said, Central or one of the CT State campuses? Possibility, right? We have the engineering, science, and tech programs at CT State. They could easily run it there. I'm not sure what would be needed.
Okay.
In this case, but it's not $500,000 to buy that piece of equipment. It's, I don't know, tens of thousands is my guess, but
that's what I would guess.
Maybe it's a little more. I don't know. So it's within the realm of possibilities, and would be, like you said, a great teaching tool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I certainly would welcome any proposals at all along those lines. So.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments? If we can may we have a vote on the continuation and name change as proposed in item 5B11 of the agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Second. Aye. All in favor? No votes?
No. Okay.
Okay, it is the center name change as presented is passed. So congratulations on that. Now we have the formally consideration of the discontinuation of the Center and Institute, a Center for Excellence in Science and Math and Sciences, SEMS. A motion to approve the discontinuation, then we'll have some discussion of after. Put the motion on the table. Second.
Second.
Dr. Irwin? I'm not off the hook yet.
So essentially, this was a vibrant center that was supported by a large grant, and the work is important. But as funding has shifted and as we're looking to kind of be as efficient as possible, I think some of the functions of the SEM Center will now move into what you just named our new Center for Quantum and Nanotechnology. So the important work will continue to get done. It's just all kind of in one place, which is, I think, just a better use of resources.
Yeah.
Comments or questions from the regents?
No, Dr. Irwin had mentioned that before when she was discussing, how this all fit together. So I don't have any further questions.
All in favor then of the discontinuation of the Center for Excellence in Math and Science as presented in the agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That's approved. Now we move on to the new Center, Social Work and Law Enforcement Center, Social Work and Law Enforcement Center for Police Social Work. A very interesting proposal. In fact, it has some connection to the incoming mayor in New York City, who has made similar proposals for the New York City, involving the New York City Police Department and related entities. So please, Dr. Owen.
So before we move on, I'd like to just take a moment to recognize Dr. Enjaran, who I think downplayed his importance in our program, and just point out that recent NSF EPIC grant that is creating industry partnerships with our students in the community and is actually a part of a national model with other institutions. I wanted to point out that Dr. Enjaran is the PI of that. So thank you, Matthew. So next we move in a
That
very
will be
exciting
duly
manner.
noted, Dr. Irwin. That will be duly noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So we move now to the establishment of a new center. And as you mentioned, in social work and law enforcement, I have the kind of author of the proposal, but also the absolute driver behind this. Dr. Isabel Logan came to us from Eastern. She is just a dynamo, reached out to a representative and was able to put this together into a bill, which was funded. And so in light of that the legislators have funded this, we thought it was appropriate to establish a new center. This will have reach not only in the state, but nationally. Dr. Logan has already been bringing in professionals from across the country to come to conferences. So I'm going to allow her to talk a little bit about it, or as much as you'd like, and then she can answer the more detailed questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Welcome.
Like Dr. Irwin said, I've been working with this work since 2020, when Connecticut passed the police accountability bill requiring police departments to work with social workers. At that time, there was nothing in place to be able to move the needle in that direction. And so I began working right away with my background and some of my expertise from when I used to work in the field in the judicial system, and was able to put together a framework that is now nationally known as the first framework for police social work in the United States, which is, I'm still sort of like, wow, that's great. And I am working not only with police departments here in Connecticut, but I actually am working with police departments in New York. So it's really cool to hear Regent Bloom talk about that connection. And so I'm open for questions.
Questions or comments from the regents?
No.
Yeah, a quick question on the funding front. The state gave a grant to get you started. What's the picture in, say, the next 5 years? Is there enough money to keep you viable in that time period, or are you going to need more funds?
I believe after the 2 years are up, I will be going back to the state asking for more money. But in the meantime, I'm also going to be looking for funders, and I'm going to be looking for grants. And there are people that are already offering to partner with the center and have been telling me I have money, and I'm like, okay, great. So through that, additionally, we plan on having a certificate program that we hope will generate some money, as well as the conference will be generating money, and any educational trainings that we have, we hope to be using as well to educate and to bring in funds.
This
Do you
might be
have
an
a
opportunity with foundations. There might be maybe foundations that may be quite interested in this work.
Yeah, what do you need in terms of enrollments to kind of break even money wise? Is it you know what do you project as kind of like the necessary amount of enrollment?
I think it would depend on, because the way we broke it down, we would have some fellowships, right? But additionally, I think it will depend on how much the certificate programs brings in, and how many people. I did not break it down by person, but I would say we would at least need a minimum of 100. And depending on how much how much the programs and the trainings are. I know our big signature training is the Police Social Work Academy, which we have is a week-long program. And we have people from across the nation wanting to get into that. And I've been very subtle in how, like, I've had people just come for free. I've had people wanting to pay over 500 for the week. 500 is what we usually we're thinking about, but obviously that's low compared to like what people are charging for trainings. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah.
How will you monitor this? I mean, will you be reporting, updates on a regular basis? How will we track, the success and, evaluate, or how frequently will you be doing that?
Yeah, so we do it by graduating classes.
Okay.
And so usually every year we have a report that I send out to everyone. But in our conference, all of the students actually do a presentation on all of the work that they've been doing, and we show stats. And but in the past year, we just put it together, and I send it out to like the police departments in a PowerPoint presentation, or in a memo, letting them know how many people we have and who graduated, and the trainings that we've done annually.
Okay.
Yes. Provost, you have your hand up.
Yep. So I just wanted to kind of talk from a larger lens about this particular center, which is this work is already ongoing. It has been ongoing. We are already having conferences and individuals from across the country coming here. With the addition of the bill, I apologize, it's HR, but I can't remember the number. Isabel will help me. This just actually kind of underlines that this is kind of not easy work to find. It's important. Isabel has paved the way. So what I see is that the initial monies get the center up and running, but we already have a series of models to keep it sustained, including training and conferences. Isabel and her team can, and already have, which includes police officers, go out and train a number of different teams that come. So like, for example, I'm just making it up, New Haven Police Department might come and do a complete training. What she has not had is any organizational structure behind her to help do this, right? She's so busy doing the good work. And so with the center structure and our Office for Workforce and Lifelong Learning and our ability to, I hate to use this term, but monetize all of this hard work, training, and educational materials, I think that was the goal, to keep it going.
I think one way you can look at this is we had the horses, we didn't have the cart until the center will be the cart in this. And I think but that was one of my reactions when I read it was the same, that it needs a structure to keep this keep this moving. And I think, given what's going on in the country, I think this is going to be a very attractive enterprise.
Thank you. And I must say that over the past 5 years, yes, the structure is very necessary. I've been working with my team for voluntarily, right? And just doing the work that needs to be done to work with students to make sure that they are getting their educational needs met, to make sure the community is also getting their needs met, as well as police departments and universities. And so we've been operating on zero budget, and the structure is very much needed in order to be able to take it to the next level.
Mhm.
If-
Do you see the opportunity to collaborate with some other disciplines in the center, for example? I would imagine that mental health, um, dealing with people, on the mental health spectrum or social, because you're not going to cover all of, the full spectrum of this. How do you see this either interacting with or collaborating with some of the other areas of in our institutions?
Absolutely. So that was actually one of the first things that I spoke to Dr. Irwin about, the importance of being able to connect with other departments and use expertise from other areas in order for it to be a holistic approach to what we're doing, even from communication departments, right? Because we have a website where students can intern and learn how to develop websites. From political science, as you saw from the work that I submitted, the model is divided into 3 areas, and one of them discusses policy, right? So from policy to research to even nursing, and I had a doctor from UConn contact me to say, oh, we want to talk about maternal mothers and when they call 911, how can we partner with what you're doing? I just 2 weeks ago spoke to one of our faculty members in our sociology department who's interested, as well as faculty in the communications department. But across the 4 CSUs overall, I've been in contact with multiple departments from the systems office, university settings. So I have friends across and different departments who are interested.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve the establishment of the new center?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor of establishing the new center?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Congratulations. And we wish you well with this is important work, and we wish you well with your efforts here and your work here.
Thank you.
If I
Thank you all.
If I
Um,
could, I just wanted to see if we could go back to CT State actually. Dr. Heineck did a wonderful job giving us an academic update, but she didn't quite have an opportunity to speak on her below threshold items. So I just wanted to
yeah, okay.
provide that opportunity to her.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, are we okay, Provost Irwin, are we complete on your end?
We are. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to return momentarily to CT State for, thank you, Kayla, I appreciate it, for the comments on the below threshold items, which actually, the more involved people are with the medical system, the more the issues of coding and all of these items are become important, obviously.
Yes.
particularly to senior citizens.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. I just have a couple of brief updates on this, and our Professor Jill Flanagan is here if you have any specific questions. But basically, the clinical coding certificate is a below threshold modification, replacing 6 courses with 7 courses, and eliminates the requirement of cell biology as a separate course. It's a prerequisite of anatomy and physiology. So the program will actually shift from 41 credits to 37. In healthcare administration, the proposed modification adds a course, biology 2103, pathophysiology, and adds 2 to 3 directed electives versus 2 directed electives. In health information technology, data management AS, the proposed modification of the associate degree eliminates cell biology as the requirement because it is a prerequisite again for anatomy and physiology, and modifies the content of 6 courses to be replaced with 7 courses, still 16 credits on both. And then the medical billing and outpatient coding specialist certificate and the outpatient medical coding and auditing AS degree. In both of those cases, it modifies 2 3-credit courses into 3 2-credit courses. And this really was based on 2 different externally accredited bodies, opening up a little more flexibility so that we could use the same course in both degrees.
Some of this, I gather, is driven by what changes that the accrediting agencies have
Correct.
Have
Yes.
made here. Any comments or questions about this item? It's below threshold, does not require a vote, but it is important. Okay, thank you. My
Thank you.
apologies for skipping
No
past
worries.
this before.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Regent Bloom.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're ready to go to Charter Oak State College.
Yes.
Dr. Omar, I take it you're representing it today?
Yes, thank you so much. Good morning to everyone. Very nice meeting you. I'm actually very new to the institution. I'm in 2nd month right now as the new Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs. Thank you for having me here today, just providing you with a couple of updates. On behalf of Dave, our provost, Dr. David Ferrara. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. The first thing I want to mention is our work on AI and how the college is involved. I know the team started working on a couple of initiatives. They've been doing really a great job. And me coming into the system or the college, finding all of these initiatives, but I can tell you what I'm directly involved with, and of course I'm aware of that the college is working on. Starting with the learning management system and the move to Ultra, and the tool or AI tool is actually is integrated in Ultra, and the college is exploring even using the tool as part of the assignments and assessment tools that can be integrated in the learning management system, such as role playing. It's actually one of the assignments that's available in Ultra at this time. The plan of the move is still to be completed summer of 2026. So the team is preparing for that, and we have sandboxes that we are actually providing for the purpose of training on that. Also, the team is working on curriculum development related initiatives involving AI. We're looking and reviewing workflow platforms, project management platforms for curriculum development. Personally reviewing 2 of those at this time, Treo and Asana, and as a project management to be used. In addition, as part of our strategic plan is actually we are in the process of reviewing multiple institutions that can be our AI strategic partner. And at the time I joined, we were actually reviewing about 10 to 15 companies who will be our AI strategic partner, but now we shortlisted the top 3 based on our RFP process. In fact, we are meeting with these 3 as part of the interview process on the 25th of this month to ask them our specific questions about how they actually can contribute and add value to the institution and to the system. There are very interesting proposals, but we are reviewing how they actually can provide and add value, as I mentioned. This is the 3, actually, I don't mind sharing the names. Learning Mate is one of them, is one of the organizations that we're reviewing. Noodle is another one, and IBM AI tool is also being reviewed. And then after that, the selection process will be completed or start the final phase of completing it. So we're expecting to have that reviewed and finished by the end of this year. These are all my updates for the involvement in AI. I do have a couple of updates for us on the programs and enrollment. Our numbers are up. I'm sorry, is there any questions?
Please go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, great news. All of our numbers are actually up. We have registered students figures, registered students, they are up to 2361. To do a 1-year comparison, it's about 17% increase. Over 2 years is about 33.7% increase. Also, total credits were up by about 41% over the past 2 years. The registration rate stayed flat at 82.8%. Total enrollment is 2852. Over the past 2 years, that represents about 33.5% increase, and over the last year by itself, it's about 17.3%. There is a new associate and bachelor's degree registrants are up by 61 compared to last year. Also, new master's degree were up by 28 compared to the last year in terms of the number of registered. And these are all my updates.
Thank you very much, Dr. Omar. Any questions or comments for Dr. Omar? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On to Western. I see the Provost Hagidas is here.
Good morning.
Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. Thank you, everyone. Sorry I was delayed. I didn't think I could make the meeting, but I'm here now, and I'm here with my AVP for Institutional Effectiveness, John Asapapong, who's going to be my fill-in, but he can certainly chime in on some of our campus updates in case I forget anything.
Seems that happens to all of us, apparently. So.
But thank you. We had a very successful undergrad open house on Sunday with about 800 attendees. There was a lot of energy and excitement on campus as we begin to, as we all are, in preparation for next year and next year's enrollments. I also wanted to note we have also launched a year-round graduate virtual information session program, began this spring. As a key element for our graduate recruitment and outreach strategy. And these are program-specific sessions, providing prospective students with very detailed information about specific programs, admission requirements, and career outcomes. And it offers a direct opportunity to engage straight away with faculty and program coordinators. So this initiative is ongoing. We hosted 17 sessions in the spring, 3 in the summer, and 18 so far. So they're very regular. We have about another 20 plus planned for the rest of the academic year. And this is all part of a crucial part of our strategic focus on growing our existing graduate programs, which were up 4.2% in enrollments this fall, as well as forming more accelerated 4+1 programs, as I have mentioned before, and also pathways for new certificates and micro-credentials. Actually, even beginning with our high school students in our dual and concurrent enrollment program, particularly around the role of internships. Danbury High School has several career pathways, and we are weaving our curriculum into some of those pathways where applied learning is a critical component even very early on, and see them continue through our programs even to the graduate level. So that has been, it's ongoing, and I think people are hard at work, and it's been successful so far. President Bernal is leading a series of campus-wide forums on strategic enrollment, retention, facilities, IT infrastructure components, as well as our campus climate and DEI work through a very large consultative process that strongly situates WestCon as an anchor to our region. Again, back to some of the certificates and micro-credentials, you're going to see more of these come forward as very particular niche areas serving the region, the Greater Danbury region as well. And finally, following, as I reported, and the President Bernal reported at the full board meeting recently, NetShe site visit went well. And following that, we continue to implement our institutional effectiveness framework, particularly around the use of implementing new and revising assessment work. We're utilizing a SPOL platform for us to be able to keep track and to ensure continuous improvement. And we're particularly focused this year on a new Gen Ed program that we began to implement this fall. And John, do you have anything else to add? Because John is our AVP for institutional effectiveness whilst you're here.
The only thing I would add is with the implementation of the Gen Ed new framework, we've also started some training workshops in partnership with our Center for Excellence in Learning and Teaching to do some workshops on assessment for faculty who will be doing general education assessment this fall.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Regent Bloom. That's our campus updates for November. If you have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions of Provost Hagedis?
No.
And we have no items, but that doesn't mean we're not hard at work.
You have no items, yes. That's
particularly in our social work program as well. So we'll be coming forward hopefully in the new year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have to rush across the entire state to Eastern. Dr. Wilson.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So on the front of what's going on at Eastern, we're really leaning into our identity as a public liberal arts institution. We've established a faculty hub for AI and the liberal arts, and this emerged from work that was done last year through an NEH grant that was a collective grant with 6 COPLAC institutions on AI and the humanities, and Eastern was one of the 2 co-leads with the University of Illinois at Springfield. For that, they were looking at questions of text creation, ethics, information literacy, and some of the faculty involved in that grant presented their work a few weeks ago down at Conn College's conference on AI and the liberal arts. On the course front, we have things happening in a range of disciplines: computer science, business, and finance. And the Faculty Hub is working on planning a spring symposium in collaboration with our Center for Teaching and Learning, as well as bringing in an upcoming external speaker on changing the AI conversation. few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to attend a computer science alumni panel, and the students, the graduates ranged from about 2005 to about 2018, and they were talking specifically to talk about the use of AI in their current roles, as well as how their liberal arts courses prepared them to use AI tools. And some of the things they talked about, communication was a very strong theme, both written and verbal, as well as the way they were able to develop their leadership skills and cultural competency. Beyond that, some of the things that we have going on campus, I thought I'd talk a little bit about community engagement, since that's been a theme over the past month. Today, we have a poverty awareness marathon that is happening across campus. So the 26 miles were divided up with volunteers. I walked my mile at 8:06 this morning, and we have folks lapping campus to complete that 26 miles over the course of about 6 hours today. We are working with the Community Foundation of Eastern Connecticut to establish a civic leaders program. This will be a 6-week summer program where students will be doing service placements as well as participating in an academic course on civic and community leadership. Last week, as I think folks know, Attorney General William Tong was on campus and had a really excellent Q&A with students and faculty. And finally, Western just had their open house. Ours is on Sunday, and we also are really looking forward to that, have very strong RSVP numbers, and are expecting a jump in that today, which tends to happen the day or two before the open house.
Thank you. Any questions of Dr. Wilson?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We now go to the system office. Dr. Diamond?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you. I know I spent my updates for the past couple of meetings talking about how much I enjoy updating forms. I am not going to be talking about updating forms today, to I'm sure your great satisfaction. I just wanted to point out a couple of just points of staff members within ASA at the system office, and just the goings on and what they have been doing. So this past Monday, Pennsylvania had a convening on holistic credit mobility, and we were represented by Steve Marcellanis, who is the director of the Office of Transfer and Articulation, as well as Lindsay O'Grady, who is the associate registrar and focuses on curriculum and audit from Charter Oak. And they were specifically asked to lead a breakout session for this massive convening. The PASHE system is as complicated as we are. That's a whole other ballgame to our colleagues from the south of us. But this was, they wanted both Steve and Lindsay to focus on their credit mobility strategies, and they wanted them to share Charter Oak's journey at enhancing non-traditional learner experiences. This convening in Pennsylvania brought together their stakeholders from their 2- and 4-year institutions, as well as Pennsylvania's Department of Education and their State Board of Ed. So it was just, I want to point out that the work that we're doing in transfer is being recognized, and they're very interested. Other of our colleagues across the nation are interested in what we're doing. So this is just a great example of how we're sharing small movements, big movements in the transfer space. The next thing that I wanted to point out is on Wednesday during the academic council meeting, I asked Patrick Carr, who is the systems program manager for Library Consortium operations, to brief the provost about the Open Educational Resource Coordinating Council. And this is the CT one, not to be confused with CSCU has our own coordinating council. But I wanted him to come and give the provost an update on the model policy, which in 2023 legislation was passed by the state that directed the Connecticut OER Coordinating Council to develop a model policy. And this is really important because it was securing definitions for terms related to OER, methods for data collection, and ways to present course catalogs to students to clearly identify courses who are utilizing OER. So this is a model policy, and I just asked him to come and brief the provost about that the policy had been completed, and to give them updates on aspects of that policy that they could consider. So I just wanted to give you that update. And lastly, I wanted to point out our healthcare portal. So Vicky Bazzuto, who is the system office's director of career and transfer readiness, has her hands in an awful lot of spaces throughout the system regarding healthcare. And one of the really heavy lifts that she focuses on is making sure that our healthcare portal is up to date and that the information is accessible not only to prospective students and families about our non-credit and credit certificates, associates, baccalaureate, and master's degree programs, all under the umbrella of healthcare, but more importantly, doing that heavy lift to make sure that that information is readily available to our healthcare partners. And recently, she has been coordinating with the Dr. O'Day Stevens on really engaging our career staff throughout the system to make sure that they also have access to this very, very useful portal. So those are just 3 updates that I thought I would share with you today.
Thank you, Dr. Diamond. Dr. Stevens?
Good morning, everyone. I have a couple updates. First, I'd like to talk about the Student Advisory Committee because I think it's always wonderful to talk about what the students are doing. And the Student Advisory Committee is hard at work on their student survey that they have been working on for close to about a year. They are nearing the final draft stage of that survey, which is very exciting. They are working right now to enter Institutional Review Board, which they're working on IRB right now. The survey's been drafted. It's actually in its almost final form. It's going to be socialized with the board, the president's council, and the chancellor, I believe, next week. And they are also working on the next steps for that. So we're hoping to launch that survey in the early spring and get feedback on the student experience. And they've worked really hard on that. So I'm really proud on the work that the Student Advisory Committee has done on that survey. In addition, they have finalized their bylaws. Those will be voted on at our next meeting. They have recruited a secretary, which we have not had in several years, for the Student Advisory Committee. So we'll also have that vote at next week's meeting for the secretary position. And they have also voted on creating another subcommittee, which is called the Committee on Connection. And that was brought forth from several students in the system, and they want to combat loneliness and increase student awareness on health, well-being, and mental health across the system. And it's going to be called the Student Connection Committee and Subcommittee, which will come on this under the SAC committee. So that's the update on SAC, and I thought that would be important to bring to ASA. And any questions on that? And then I have one other update, but I thought I'd stop there and pause if there were any questions about the Student Advisory Committee.
I'd be very interested in seeing the progress of the Connect group. I think that's something that has been really profiled a lot in terms of college campuses, and generally we have an entire generation of students that are really it's just a growing issue, this question of loneliness and isolation. And many feel it's absolutely fueled by social media, but so it'll be interesting to see how the students gather the information and address, what issues they bring to the table. So.
And I think they were very respectful, and I want to kind of say this on the meeting too. Every campus has resources, and I don't want to discredit those resources on the campuses. We have counselors on our campuses, we have case managers, we have food pantries, we have various things on our campuses that support students and wonderful staff. So the students didn't, in no way, shape, or form, did not acknowledge the resources on our campuses. I think there's other things at play where students are trying to find simpler connections to their peers on campuses and ways to connect in and they don't know how to do that naturally. And so they're trying to figure out better ways to help each other do that. And I think that's what this is really about. So they didn't discredit the services that are already in play, but they're trying to figure out how to do that more systemically. And so do know that they do recognize that there are resources on our campuses, and they didn't discredit those. So I think that sometimes people are like, every campus has resources. They did acknowledge that. So.
Okay.
And the second update, we have our automatic admissions program, and to date, there's usually a big jump right before November. Currently in our system, we have received just at our CSUs 4,990 total applications just for our 4 CSUs have been received in our automatic admissions portal. So I just wanted to give that update. So that was an awesome number to see the other day, that our automatic admissions program is working really wonderfully across our 4 CSUs. So those are my 2 updates, and happy Friday to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions of Dr. Stevens or Dr. Diamond? Okay. Thank you. I think we're coming to probably the most favorite motion of the meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed to adjourning? Meeting is hereby adjourned. I
Thank
want to
you,
thank
Mr. Chair, and
everybody.
thank you to all of our participants.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
All right,
interesting
folks, the
updates.
live stream has ended.
Yeah.